much to pray about. And I'm thinking, really, what have you been praying about, Grandma? And she goes, well, most of the morning for you. Now, I hope you don't take offense at that. And I went, no, not at all. I'll take all I can get. What have you been praying about? Well, I remember you were talking about... The woman's got a mind like a steel trap. She never forgot anything I told her. I bet she took notes. Because I had somebody older in my life that understood the power of prayer and had a deep, long relationship with God. A woman 2.5 times on the planet longer than me. She was able to intercede for me in ways I can't even start to think about praying for myself, because she'd been on the planet so much longer. We have an opportunity to do this for one another. Young people, tap in to the older generation. Older generation, tap in and give back. It's desperate. We desperately need the generations to build biblical community outside the four walls of this church. Because it's powerful. The world needs it. We need it. We're never going to make it without each other this way. Now, in Philippians 2:2, it really brings it home here. And the accountability is really important here too. I got a guy I meet with every Thursday morning. We talk about honesty and what we're going through and the ways that we're being tempted and the goals we've set for ourselves and how we're planning to achieve those goals. And we're both growing as individuals. My wife started meeting with another lady that's actually a few years younger than her, but they decided to set personal goals. It's goal setting is all it is. It's not very spiritual, but it's goal setting. And Etna set a goal with her that she would go through so many file boxes in our warehouse, because we have 290 file boxes to go through in the next 1 year until we move out. I mean, it's like a whole wall of boxes over there. It's just a lot of file boxes. She's got to go through and determine what needs to be shredded, what needs to be recycled, and what can be thrown away. And every box takes 10-20 minutes. And so she's putting it off because it's in a hot warehouse, and I put it off too. But that's what she wants to do, is the accounting. So she's worked with this other lady, and she said, would you hold me accountable to do at least 4 boxes a day between now and the next time we meet? And she said, great, when do you plan to do that? She said, I will do it in the morning when the warehouse is cool. She said, fantastic, I'll be praying that you succeed. And this is the kind of relationship we need with other believers. I'm going to do this. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm not going to make excuses. I'm going to make it happen. I'd like you to pray for me and encourage me. And when we next meet, I want you to praise God with me that I actually followed through. So it isn't making the goal. It's how we plan to achieve the goal. And you can do this for your physical life. I'm going to lose 10 pounds. How are you going to do that? Well, I'm going to eat less and I'm going to exercise more. Great. When are you going to exercise more? Because if you don't have a schedule, it's probably not going to happen, because my alarm clock tells me to roll over and not go to the gym. And, so what am I going to do? This is accountability. We need this for each other. Not just to not do the bad things, but to do the good things. Because the more forward movement and motion we have in biblical community, the less we care about the old things that set us back and held us back. And Timothy had this. It says, but you know that Timothy has proved himself, because as a son with his father, he has served me in the work of the gospel. So here we see a strong relationship between two godly men that have taken really good care of one another. And there's a father-son relationship, and there's a sending out. There's strong accountability there, and that's just part of it. You can't really have biblical community without this kind of relationship, this iron sharpening iron, right? And the last one, number 8. The benefits of biblical community come at a cost. Now, I've told you about a lot of neat things about biblical community here, and that's the one side of the coin, right? We'll call that the shiny side of the coin. The other side of the coin is a little tarnished, and it would be wrong if I only gave you the features and the benefits and I didn't give you all of the costs and the drawbacks, right? It's a beautiful car, sir. It goes from 0 to 60 in 3.9, and it fits your whole family comfortably, and it gets 400 miles per gallon. What I'm not going to tell you is that it costs $2 million and your firstborn child. I'm going to give you the other side of the coin now, all right? This would be the bad news, or the most difficult news for most folks. The benefits of biblical community will come to you personally at a high cost. The first thing is you will lose some of your me time. It means that all of your quality family time with you and your kids will also include once or twice a week someone from outside your nuclear family joining you. Is that good? Sure, it's great. Your kids need to know how to act around other people. And they also need to see you loving people that are not like you at all and unconditionally loving them. That's a way to raise a child in a manner according to the Lord, not just teach him Bible stories, but show him how to love people who are not like you, who need to step out because it's time for a cigarette break, right? Do you want to teach your children to smoke? No. But they're going to be around smokers the rest of their life. Wouldn't it be nice for them to know that smokers are loved by God too? And that when they come in, they stink? You know? Let them learn that early. Because, you know, off and on, I smoked from 18 to 24, and I didn't like the way I smelled. Teach your kids that. Teach them while they're at home instead of finding out when they get older. There's nothing wrong with this. Talk about stuff. Why do you think do you think it'd be better if we smoked? Then we'd have to stop what we're doing and go outside? No, it'd be better if we didn't smoke. Then we could keep playing our game. Wouldn't have to stop everything to go outside. Yeah. And you know, cigarettes are expensive too. How much are they? Well, they're like 6 ice cream cones. And almost as bad for you. And you just have a chance to raise your children this way. But you're going to lose some of your me time. You're going to lose some of your free time, your TV time, and some of your alone time. Some of you just love to be alone or do your thing, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with a little alone time. Everybody needs some. But it comes at a cost. I've had people in my house when I really didn't want them in my house, and I tell them. Because we're a biblical community. Hey, I really love you guys, and there's a key under the front mat, and I'd like you to just lock the door when you leave. I'm going to bed. See, in biblical community, your friends can stay and watch the movie if they want, or the next movie, and you can go to bed. It's okay. Just like your family would. You guys staying up to watch TV? I'm not. I'm going to bed. So we just live with one another. So, I mean, some of my me time goes away. Second thing is, your personal agenda goes away. You have to let go of your personal agenda. Everybody has a personal agenda. Everybody has an axe to grind, something they want to talk about, a reason to have the relationship, and you have to let that go. If you can't let go of your personal agenda, it'll always be you're battling your personal agenda and them battling their personal agenda, and who loses out? God. His personal agenda is rarely ever discovered when our personal agendas are battling one another. It's really all got to be about God's agenda for our life. But we're going to have to let go. And it might be we spank and you don't believe in spanking, or I believe in tongues and you don't believe in tongues, or I believe in tongues and you believe in tongues, but when you do it, it doesn't sound right, so I don't think you really have it. Or I've heard this. You say Lord 400 times a minute when you pray. It drives me nuts. Or, why do you drink all my fizzy water that I pay so much money for? Or, you homeschool and I public school, and I feel judged by that. And on it goes. Our personal agendas are something we have to die to. Because there's too much at stake, and Satan will take your personal agenda and use it to drive a wedge between you and the other believers, so that none of the good stuff I've shared with you can happen. The last one is your hurts and wounds. You're going to have to let go of them. I know you've had them for a long, long time, and they're very familiar, and you've been nursing them for many years because of familiarity, but you got to let go. When you get into biblical community with other people outside the four walls of this building and you start doing life together and loving God, loving each other, loving the lost on a team like you would in a life group, you're going to find that your wounds and your hurts will come out. God actually puts people in the group that remind you of somebody who hurt you on purpose. And the reason he'd do that is because he wants you to finally deal with it and quit sweeping it under the rug. Because Satan's been cashing checks on that hurt for a long, long time. I'll not forget a few years